Tonight, at some point after the lights go off, your brain is going to betray you. You will be tired. You will want to sleep. And your mind will decide that right now, in the dark, in the silence, is the perfect time to revisit every awkward conversation you have had in the last 3 years, every unfinished problem you have been avoiding, every uncertain thing about your future that you have successfully ignored all day. You will lie there and think. And think. And think. And at some point, you will ask yourself why you cannot just stop. The answer is not that something is wrong with you. The answer is that something is very, very right with you. Your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. It is just that it was designed for a world that no longer exists. And understanding why your brain does this, what it is actually trying to protect you from, and what your ancestors did about it, will change the way you experience the moment the lights go out tonight. Let us go back. Not a few years, not a few decades, 300,000 years to the edge of the African savanna, where the most dangerous moment of your ancestors' day was not the hunt, it was not the storm, it was not the rival tribe on the other side of the ridge. It was the transition into sleep. Sleep is, from a purely biological standpoint, one of the most vulnerable states a living creature can enter. Your muscles relax, your awareness of your surroundings drops to almost nothing. Your ability to detect and respond to threats shuts down for hours at a time. For most animals, sleep is a carefully managed gamble. For your ancestors, sleeping in a world full of predators that hunted at night, it was the most dangerous thing they did every single day. And your brain knew it. Neuroscientist Matthew Walker, who spent decades studying sleep at the University of California, Berkeley, describes the pre-sleep state as one of heightened neural vigilance. The brain, he found, does not simply power down at night. It runs a threat assessment. It reviews the day. It identifies unresolved problems, unfinished situations, open loops that could become dangerous if left unaddressed. This is not insomnia. This is preparation. Your brain is asking itself, before it goes offline for the night, whether everything is safe, whether there is anything you missed, whether there is something out there in the dark that you should know about before you lose consciousness. The problem is that the modern world has given your brain an almost infinite supply of open loops. Your ancestors had a limited number of things to worry about: food, water, shelter, predators, social standing within the group. The problems were real, but they were finite. When the fire was lit and the group was together and the immediate threats had been addressed, the brain could run its check, find nothing urgent, and allow sleep to come. Your brain runs the same check, but instead of a handful of survival problems, it finds hundreds. The email you did not answer, the conversation that did not go the way you wanted, the bill you have been putting off, the relationship that feels uncertain, the project that is behind schedule, the thing you said 5 years ago that you still cannot explain. Every one of these is an open loop, and your brain, running its ancient pre-sleep threat assessment, treats every open loop as a potential danger. It cannot tell the difference between an unanswered email and a predator in the grass. To the threat detection system buried deep in your prefrontal cortex, unresolved means unsafe. And unsafe means stay awake. Researchers at the University of Amsterdam studied what they called the Zeigarnik Effect in relation to sleep, the well-documented tendency of the human brain to fixate on unfinished tasks far more intensely than completed ones. What they found was striking. Incomplete tasks do not just linger in memory, they actively compete for cognitive resources. They interrupt, they resurface. They demand attention in a way that finished tasks simply do not. Your brain is not torturing you at night. It is lobbying you. It is saying, this is not done, and undone things are dangerous, and you need to think about this before you go unconscious. But here is what makes it stranger. The thoughts that surface at night are often not the biggest problems in your life. They are frequently small things, embarrassing things, old things. things you have no ability to act on in that moment. Psychologist Borkovec at Penn State, who spent decades studying worry and its relationship to sleep, found something counterintuitive. The content of nighttime rumination is often not what the brain actually cares about. The specific thought, the awkward conversation, the forgotten task is frequently a surface representation of a deeper, more abstract anxiety that the brain cannot directly process. In other words, you are not actually lying awake worrying about the email. You are lying awake with a diffuse, unnameable sense of incompleteness. The email is just the shape that feeling has taken tonight. Your ancestors had a solution for this. It was not medication. It was not white noise. It was not a sleep hygiene routine. It was each other. Anthropologist David Sampson at the University of Toronto has spent years studying sleep across human cultures, both modern and traditional. What he found challenges almost everything the modern world assumes about how humans are supposed to sleep. In virtually every traditional society he studied, the period before sleep was not silent. It was not solitary. It was not spent alone in a dark room staring at the ceiling. It was social. People talked. They processed the day out loud with other people. They told stories. They resolved conflicts. They named the things that were unfinished and, in naming them together, released some of the cognitive pressure those things created. The campfire, Sampson argues, was not just a source of heat and light. It was a processing mechanism. The ritual of gathering, talking, and gradually winding down together was the original solution to the pre-sleep threat assessment. It gave the brain what it needed to close its open loops before going offline. You are not built to lie alone in the dark and quiet your mind through sheer willpower. You are built to talk, to be heard, and to feel that the people around you know what you are carrying before you close your eyes. Researcher Roxanne Prichard at the University of St. Thomas, who studies sleep and cognitive load, found that verbal expression of worry, simply saying out loud or writing down the things that are unresolved, reduces the brain's tendency to ruminate on those things during the pre-sleep period. Not because the problems are solved, but because the brain registers the act of expression as a form of closure. You told someone, or you wrote it down. The loop is not finished, but it has been acknowledged. And acknowledgement, to your ancient threat detection system, is close enough to safe. This is why journaling before bed works. This is why talking to someone you trust at the end of the day works. This is why the old practice of prayer before sleep across virtually every religious tradition in human history follows the same basic structure: a spoken or written inventory of the day, an acknowledgement of what is unresolved, a release of what cannot be controlled. They were all doing the same thing. They were all closing loops before the fire went out. Your brain is not broken. It is not anxious without reason. It is not betraying you in the dark. It is doing the oldest thing it knows how to do. It is making sure you are safe before it lets you go. The thoughts that come at night are not your enemy. They are your inheritance. They are the same thoughts your ancestors had, sitting around the fire, speaking them out loud into the dark, one by one, until there was nothing left to say, and the flames burned low, and sleep finally came. Tonight, when your mind starts running, it is not attacking you. It is asking whether everything is okay. Answer it.